The film look. I don't really know why, but more and more I am really drawn to it. I've wanted to have something that could blend my footage together into a beautiful mixture of warmth and depth, all with a realistic film grain. But many plugins are simply just cheap overlays, and you can tell. It got frustrating because it felt like many products were clearly not producing a genuine film emulation. I wanted something that would give me halation, bloom, film grain, different film stock and profiles. Full control. But was that just not possible? It seemed like it, until it all made sense. The answer was Dehancer. What exactly is Dehancer? Dehancer is a high-quality film emulation plugin that's compatible with Final Cut Pro, Adobe Premiere, Adobe After Effects, DaVinci. It is an incredibly powerful tool. Not only do they offer plugins for the common editing programs, but they also offer an app for your phone. You can edit on the go right from your smartphone. They have a desktop online version now as well, and we'll get into these different things a little bit later in the video. But first I want to thank Dehancer. They sent me this software to use for free, but they did tell me in their email that they first sent me like, hey, we want you to make an honest review. We want the pros, the cons. We want to make this plugin better. So this is an honest review. I'm not being paid to make this. They wanted me to have full creative control over what I say and what my thoughts are on this product. But a big thanks to them for sending me this software. I'm a Final Cut Pro user, so I'm going to show you how I use Dehancer inside Final Cut, just so if you're looking to get this or you've already downloaded it, you'll know what they mean, what all the tools do, because it's pretty comprehensive, but I want to break this down really quick for you. And so let's jump into Final Cut. All right, now that you've installed Dehancer, you're going to go to your Effects tab. You're going to type in Dehancer, if I can spell it, Dehancer. You're going to just drag it right on top. Now you can see it on your bar over on the right. And the first thing we're going to talk about is the input. This is what I think begins to set it apart from other plugins, is it's not just slap it on and call it good. They have it defined down to the camera just about. So you're going to come over here and you're going to choose your camera. And I'm going to select Canon. And then I'm going to choose that I filmed it on the R5 and I filmed it in C-Log3 Cinema Gamut. And you can see right away it's starting to retain the contrast, the highlights. And within the input, you can adjust your exposure and kind of move these around a little bit. You have your other tint and your temperature, some of these different things. The next thing you'll do is you'll choose your film stock. And here is where they have these 60 plus film stocks available, which is crazy. These are just some of the different looks you can get. I'm just flipping through these super quick. There's plenty of Kodak options. I've been pretty consistently drawn to the Kodak Vision 3 200T. I like the warm tones it gives. It's not overly contrasty out of the gate. The next thing is Film Developer. This is where I use some of my tools to add contrast, color. We'll move these sliders around to just see what we like, add a little color here, kind of begin to bring some of the depth to that film stock. And I like the Film Developer. It's something I use on most everything. The next one in line is film compression, and this one may not be obvious right away, but what film compression is doing here is it's handling the highlights of your image and smoothing out the roll off. It's not necessarily bloom or halation, but it is smoothing out the highlights, and you can kind of see that here in the window. You can see what it's doing when I move the slider around. And so you just, with any of these sliders, just move them around until you kind of like how it looks. Don't overdo it, but find that happy medium. And so yeah, film compression is a great one for starting to kind of rein in your highlights, smooth them out a little bit. Expand is our next one, and this basically is setting your white and black points. And so it just gives you a little bit more control over where you want your highlights to be and where you want your shadows to land. And just gives you a little bit more control over the contrast of your image. Next is print, and this allows you to basically process your film or print it onto a format, a look that gives you just a little bit more of a classic tone. You don't have to use this, but it is a nice added look to it. They have a couple profiles under print. You can use Cineon Film Log, the Fujifilm 3513, Kodak 2383, or the Kodak Endura glossy paper. So these are just some really nice looks that give a little more of a final finished look to your image that would probably be similar to what you'd probably see in the movies, and just gives a nice appealing look to it. And then within print, you can still adjust some of your contrast and colors. Just remember, when you're applying all of these tools, it's still stacking all of these different things together. So I still think if you can start from the top and work down, it's gonna basically layer that cake a little bit in the right order. It's not one way or wrong way to do this, but I think there's a way that's probably a little bit better. Just my perspective on that, take it or leave it. Color head allows you to adjust basically individual color tones within the film, within your image. I really don't use this one at all. I've used maybe the greens and the reds just a touch, but I don't really like it because I feel like it's a little bit intense. It's probably my least favorite aspect of the plugin, or I should say just the one I don't use really at all. I suppose if your white balance is like really screwed up, then you can kind of correct it with the color head. That's the only time I'd really see the color head making sense, but it's an option there if you need it. The next one is film grain, and this is where it starts to get a little bit more fun. You can just see the difference here when I toggle off. There's basically a graded image just with no grain. We'll now add the grain, and here you can choose the millimeter and the ISO of the film type or the film stock you'd be using, and there are lots of options that will give you different depths or sizes of the grain, so it just kind of depends on what you want that to look like. I have kind of liked the 35mm ISO 50 or the ISO 250 because I don't think it's overpowering, but it's still a nice smooth grain. Halation is a feature that a lot of filmmakers go for. When you watch some of the higher budget Hollywood films that are shot on film, you can see it, especially if they're filming near water and you're seeing the water glinting, the light glinting in the background. You'll notice the halation, which is usually a reddish orange hue, and it's a common reaction to hot points of light on film. And so you can see when I toggle this on, you can look around the edges of the light here and you can see it. Now you can adjust the different types of halation and you can see the different intensities that it offers, and it's pretty cool. I don't like it to be super intense. I kind of like the 35mm halation option. Just because it's not overpowering, but it's there just a little bit. Next is the bloom, and this one is one of my favorites, along with film grain, of course, is because this one will spread the highlights. This smooths out those street lights, headlights on a car. This is what kind of gives that nice warm spread, and I'll just turn that on, and I'll show you some of the different intensities. There's 65mm. There is down to 8mm, and you can see the 8mm has that much more of a bloom, and it kind of lessens as you go up to 65. I really love the 16mm bloom. It kind of has a good happy medium for me, but the film grain, halation, and bloom are the three really nice key selling features of Dehancer that they do really well. But again, I think what makes those three features nice is everything else you stack above it, your film stock, how you want the the different print to look like, the expand, the film compression. All those are important because when you get down to your film grain, your bloom, halation, it's kind of like putting that icing on the cake. The next several pieces of this plugin I don't use as much, but the first one is film damage, and this of course is how much damage, hair, dust, things you want in your film. You can see there's the lines, the dust, and of course, as always, there's different options, different millimeters we can choose from. It does give a nice vintage look. Obviously, it's not something you're going to use in everything, but that's an option there if you want it. Next is film breath, and you can see basically it's going to give you a variance of blues and warm tones, and it's a little bit jarring in my opinion, but it is something that'd be common in old film. And again, film damage, film breath, and gate weave are all extra tools that give you customizable features to break down your image to make it look like a more classic, stereotypical, old-fashioned film look. The next one is gate weave, and again, this is going to give you some of that jarring movement you'd see in classic like 1920s type movies. Again, not things I use, but if you want a very vintage film look, it's there for you. The next one is Overscan, and this is where we're getting some of these film bars. We have different kinds. We can do Super 16, we can do the Ultra 16, we'll do standard 16mm. So you see these classic things that this is kind of stuff you'd see on like Visco, Instagram. They're trying to do these film effects, and so that's kind of what some of these are, giving you basically different styles of a straight up like off the roll of film look. At the very bottom here we have Vignette, and I enjoy a little bit of Vignette. I love smooth gradients. I use it in a lot of different stuff, and so I like that they provide this in here with you. There's plenty of tools that do this just fine, but hey, the fact that they have it included in this plugin, I'm fine with that. And of course, you can take that vignette either way. You can feather it, you can adjust the size, and so you can see here the tools that they offer in this plugin are extremely comprehensive. I don't think you can really walk away from using Dehancer and be like, man, I wish they'd done this, I wish they'd added this. From my perspective, I think for most people, everything you need to get a really nice, classic, traditional, truly original film look is right here at your fingertips, thanks to Dehancer taking the time and putting this together. I don't know how they did it, no idea how this works, but they did it, and they did it really well. As I mentioned earlier, Dehancer has an iPhone app, a desktop online option, and they also offer Lightroom presets, which is really, really cool. The iPhone app to me is pretty straightforward. It works very well. It processes the photo in pretty much the same way. You choose your film type, and then you have your film developer, film compression, film grain, bloom, halation, all those different things. And then you can export it. And I think it handles it pretty well. For quick on-the-go editing, I think the app is a great option for your Instagram story, your Instagram post, quick little video clips. It'll handle it no problem. The desktop online tool is a great way to edit something if you're in a pinch. To me, it's probably the more clunky option. When you choose your light or different film effects, you basically, like, at least for me, I had to zoom out, and it basically shows all the film types listed out, and you just kind of choose one and you have to zoom back into it or double click to bring it up bigger. And then when I went to choose the light, like different lighting of that image, again, I had to zoom out, and it's like looking at frames of varied brightness to darkness. And so I had to select that and then zoom back in. For the grain and bloom and halation, that was just a little toolbar on the side with sliders that you move around. But so it works, and it still gives a good image, but it just feels a little bit clunkier. I think it's a fairly recent thing they've released, so I'm sure it's still being adjusted and improved, but it works. It works. I'm just gonna say that right there. It works. It'll do the trick for you. Just a little bit clunky in my opinion. The fact that they offer Lightroom presets, I think, is really cool. It's not just for video, but also for your pictures. Using it in Lightrooms, again, it's a little bit clunky to get to it, but it works, and it does a fine job. I'll show you how to do that. You're gonna go to your image here. This is just the raw, unedited image in Lightroom. You're gonna right-click, go up to Edit In, and Edit in Dehancer Lightroom plugin. And you wanna edit a copy, and it'll open a separate window for your Lightroom picture. And so you'll choose your film stock, what you want everything to look like, your film bloom, all that stuff. Once you're done, you just hit OK, and it will create a copy of that in Lightroom. The one complaint I have, and this could be me entirely missing something, so I apologize if that is the case, but when I would edit something in the Dehancer plugin, it drops the edited version next to the raw version in Lightroom. But if I'm suddenly like, oh shoot, I want to add a little more grain, or I want to add a little more bloom, I could not figure out how to reopen the already edited picture in the Dehancer plugin. I would have to basically start over from the raw image, which is not a big deal, But if you're wanting to make adjustments, I just couldn't figure out how. So if somebody knows how to do that, let me know in the comments. Just drop a comment. What are some of the pros and cons that I have from this? Starting with the pros, to me, installation was easy and straightforward. The fact that they offer that amount of film stocks, that much control over the film stock, the film grain, the bloom, the halation, I think that is a huge pro to me, that it's very well thought out. You can tell they're not trying to skimp on the detail, and the tools they're giving you to control it to make it what you want it to be as the creator. I shoot in R5 C-Log 3 cinema gamut, so it's almost black and white, and it brings it back really, really nicely. Handles the shadows, handles the highlights really well. So to me, those are all really great pros, but there are a few cons. The first one being, if you're new to color grading and using plugins and understanding how to craft your image and not break it down and destroy the highlights and the shadows, this could be a little bit overwhelming for you starting out. Not impossible for you to learn, but it's a lot to figure out right out of the gate. That's not really a con necessarily towards Dehancer. If you're just not used to color grading, it's going to be a little overwhelming, but it's still well worth it. I think the biggest con for most people is going to be the price point. When I first learned of Dehancer, I wasn't sure if the price was worth it, because some softwares will charge you a lot and then they are not worth the money. And I was afraid Dehancer might be the same way. It's an investment for sure. After using it now for about a month, I think it's well worth the money. You get what you pay for, and it is a high quality product that to me is well worth it. That being said, if you guys want to check it out, use my code LucasWilson10 for 10% off on checkout. I've been happy with this tool. It's kind of hard for me to think about going back to not using Dehancer. I've gotten a little bit addicted to the way it just magically makes my photos and videos look so smooth and warm, and I've genuinely been happy with it, and I know you will as well. I hope you guys found this review helpful, insightful, gave you a little bit of an inside view on how the plugin works. Check out this recent video I made color grading iPhone Apple log footage with Dehancer. It's pretty insane how well Dehancer does even on the iPhone log footage. Subscribe for more content just like this. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you in the next one.